Welcome back to the Forge, where two enter and one leaves, beaten, battered, and bruised. Today we have two fine competitors. We have EvilWeevil, who has been soaring up the Soulforge ladder and is a high-quality constructed player. And we have S1al, and to be perfectly honest, I had never heard of this individual until this weekend, when like a meteor bursting across the sky, like a rocket launching into the stratosphere, he won the invitational qualifier this weekend. So we thought we would have him on to see if he could continue his reign of glory and dominance. So let's go ahead and take a look at the list this week, Jake. Oh, and my co-host Jake, I guess he's here too. All right. So here's S1al's list. And he's running a fairly interesting take on AU. I know I've been messing around with AU a ton, mainly to try to get around the 2.4 Phoenix and the 3.1 Grit Your Teeth and hope for the best situation, and run a fairly fast deck. And this deck is pretty quick and puts a lot of pressure on your opponents. What do you think of the list, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely along that vein. I know you played a similar deck. Although I think without maybe Asperian Scarabs, although I do like that card. It's interesting that he is also still running Synapsis Oracles. You know, the Synapsis Oracle Wirewood Patriarch package that was played so long ago when Thundersword first came out.
Yeah, and, I agree. Oracle's a really interesting inclusion. And this is the way Oracle's such an interesting metagame. Like, remember when this patch came out? And it was like, I'm going to run Spite Mage, and I'm going to run Zrace Will in every deck. And so you couldn't run a card like Oracle. Everyone had an answer for it. And now the meta shifted, and people have gone, I'm not going to run Cull or Zrace Will. I'm just going to run Spite Mage and kill everything with that. And all of a sudden you look at Oracle and you go, huh, they got no way to kill Oracle other than Spite Mage, when they should be using Spite Mage on, say, Oros or Thundersoar. So it's actually an interesting time for Oracle. What do you think about that transition?
Yeah, you know, it might have a spot to sneak in here. You know, zombies is much less prevalent than it was when it was first discovered, and so there isn't very much Zrace Will, and most NT players aren't running it. You know, we cut it a while back. I know that. Overall, I think he definitely has a strong, aggressive game plan, and he could just easily run any opponent over.
Yeah, I actually took this deck, a very close variant of this, into the ladder last night and went 11-1. It just crushed all comers with it. It was, it's a quite flexible list that can do quite a bit. So depending on what you need, you can go with sort of a pump strategy with like strategists and tacticians. Sometimes you can just go Thundersoar in front of a dude, Warmonger mod, and go, what you got about that? And they go, well, nothing actually. Thundersoar is the one card that beats my deck, and now that you have Warmonger modded him, there is literally nothing I can do. And you get to do interesting...
yeah, I like that not just Warmonger mod he's running, he also has Jetpacks.
Yeah, exactly. And Jetpack is a really fantastic card with Thundersoar. Another cool thing is he's got all of this grow wide stuff for other AU decks with like Echo Wisp and Scarabs. And so you can do cool plays, like even against NT, you can just play an Echo Wisp to block one guy and then have an Echo Wisp on the table. And then they're like, do I really level an Epidemic just to kill that one Echo Wisp? Is it worth it? Is that the card I want to level here instead of leveling a real threat? It's a pretty interesting deck. I actually like it quite a bit. Alright, let's move on to our next competitor today. He's not just a Weevil. He's an EvilWeevil. And those are the scariest kind. And if we look at this, this is a deck that's much more in line with what I was running before, where there's quite a bit of move in the deck and robots, and so you've got all these different things you can do with gargoyles and sentinel blowouts and pumps with the warden and the strategist, and then you've got Nexus Tactician, which I love as an underleveled play. I don't actually play that card in my deck, but what I'll do is I'll get in a situation where I'm like, Wow, I could have such a huge blowout here if I could only have one armor on my dudes. Oh, Nexus Tactician. Bloink, blowout. I just kind of use it as like a mini Sentinel when they're not really expecting it. What do you think of the list, Jake?
You know, it shares a lot of cards with the other deck, but it's at the same time, it's actually very different.
Yep, I agree. It's a whole different kind of game plan. Here you're really, I think you're game planning around going Gargoyle, Sentinel blowouts, whereas I think in the mirror, the other deck is going to be playing a lot of Echo Wisp, a lot of Scarabs, but I think the card that's going to decide this one is going to be Thundersoar.
Yeah, he's fairly critical, and you know both lists are basically without removal for a Thundersoar when it comes down to it. There are no Botanimades here.
Exactly. So if one person draws a slew of Thundersoars and Warmongers them, that guy's probably going to win this game. So it should be an interesting matchup. Another card that really could swing this is Justicar. The fact that I feel like what gives S1 a good shot at is being able to spread the board out. If EvilWeevil can get those Justicars down early, he could really take that option away from S1.
Yeah, he really wrecks the Scarab and the Echo Wisp for sure.
Yep. So I think because of that, because he's able to take away that strategy, he has a Gargoyle that's going to be tough to handle. He's got Thundersoars. Well, they both do. I think I'm going to go with EvilWeevil as having the slight edge here to take down the reigning champ. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I think I have to agree. I mean, they're similar decks, so you know it's always hard to call a close mirror. But I think when it comes down to it, EvilWeevil's list is prepared to attack the actual game plan of S1al's deck in an effective way that will give him an edge over the course of 5 games.
All right, well, let's bring our competitors on. Let's start with S1. Let's see what his music's like. Oh, yeah. This seems like something Jake would like. And the song is called Stradivarius, so. Or does that make you roll over in your grave, Jake? I don't know. One of the two.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
All right, S1, welcome to the Forge.
Hello.
And congratulations on your big win this weekend.
Oh, thank you.
Have you played in any other Forge Watch qualifiers?
I started playing in March, so not really.
So you really are like a meteor shining through the night, bursting on the scene.
I don't know. I've played card games for a long time. I know Weevil and I have known each other online for years, actually, because we both used to browse the Wizards forums.
Very interesting. Okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your deck? I mean, this is pretty similar to your winning deck. I did notice you took out the Bashers. Could you explain why you took out the Bashers?
The Bashers were removal for high priority targets, and I just wasn't seeing a lot of those in the queues when I was queuing up for dailies. And most of the time, the other reason I had brought them in was for Phoenix Ashes, and I haven't been having a lot of problems with Phoenixes. Like you said, this deck's really good at beating NT in player level 2 before the 2.4 Phoenix even becomes an issue. Mm-hmm. So I switched to things that were better for dealing with Thundersoars or Ebon Skull Knights like Matrix Warden. Yep,
I think that's interesting. I think Jetpack, putting the second one in there, also helps with that as well. You can just move something over to handle whatever it is that's a problem that the Basher would be taking out.
Yeah, and Jetpack, I mean, there were several games where it was a really even matchup, and then suddenly, a 30-20 level 3 Thundersoar moves over in a lane, and you have no answer whatsoever.
Yeah, it's when I was looking at your original version of the deck, that was the big changes I had were 2 Warmonger mods, 2 Jetpacks seemed like a necessity. It's gotten to the point for me where 1 Jetpack isn't that great because it's kind of random, whereas if you have 2, then there's a pretty decent shot that one turn, that one moment when it's just complete gold, you'll actually get it. Whereas a 1 of is more like, well, maybe.
And that was pretty much the exact thoughts I had. Same with the Warmonger mod. Plus, sometimes you get to just draw 2 of them, and it's hilarious.
Double Warmonger mod should be illegal. It should say right on the card, if you have played one already this turn, don't be a jerk and play another one. Yeah, that's pretty powerful. All right, so first of all, how do I say your name? Is it S1al or is it Sal or what is it?
It's S1al. It's it's an acronym for Shoot First, Ask Later.
Ah, okay. I like that.
There we go.
Okay. And what do you think your odds are of winning today? Are they 100% or, as my daughter would say, infinity %?
Honestly, I played Weevil in the IQ. He beat me. It was... I think it favors him. I think you're right there. But I have added a few more cards. Like the Matrix Wardens are actually pretty good in this because they allow me to kill Gargoyles and Thundersaurs when I otherwise wouldn't be able to. So I'm hoping that evens the match out a little bit.
Okay. Plus your tremendous skill differential, right? Like you're one of the best players and EvilWeevil's terrible, right? You're willing to go on record with that statement?
On record? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's say that.
All right.
There we go.
So we've got our guaranteed champion. Well, let's bring in the other guy who maybe has a shot. I don't know. Welcome, EvilWeevil. Let's get your music going.
All right.
EvilWeevil loves Selena Gomez.
Sure.
All right, good choice, man. All right, Evil. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your deck?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so I think you guys were saying it's a pretty standard sort of robots build. I mean, I was playing a lot of robots in sort of the old metagame. I was doing well with it. I got like 3rd in a invitational qualifier with it. I have a lot of experience with it, and I was really busy this past week, to be honest. So it was something that I felt like sort of has good matchups across the board. There's nothing that's really terrible. You always have a solid game plan. You can be proactive. And I was comfortable with the deck. So I played it this weekend, did well. I actually think it's really well suited. Ended up being a great choice. So I'm sort of just sticking with that. There are a couple other things I was messing with, like fun decks for today, but I just felt like this is the one that I'm playing the best with.
Okay. It seems like a really good meta deck as well. There aren't really any specific cards I want to ask you about because it's pretty much the deck I would build if I was building that deck. I guess the only question would be Justicar. Is that in there for Pet Cemetery, or is that in there more for what S1al is running?
It was in there entirely for Varna's Pact,
okay.
Which was huge this weekend. Although, actually, I don't think I played it once this weekend. But I think it randomly turns out to be good against... I didn't expect to see that many Scarabs and Equus, but they were actually kind of everywhere. So it ends up being pretty good. I mean, I think that AU is going to be more popular and sort of has been more popular in the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. So I was considering trying to find other mirror match cards like Bot Animate to take out Thundersaurs, things like that. But the Justicar ends up being okay against that build anyway, and it shores up my matchup against those Tarsus decks, so I just stuck with it.
Sure. And then what about Nexus Tactician? Are you using it how I do as an underleveled blowout card, or are you just using it, putting it out when you can, just to make your guys tougher to kill?
I like it against Spite Mage sometimes. Like, it helps occasionally they just can't kill your Gargoyles. Like, if you have level 1 Nexus Tech out, they can't kill your Gargoyles with Spite Mage.
Sure.
I also, and like even for the level 3 Gargoyle, you can just play the underleveled level 1 and they can't even kill it. So I use it underleveled like that a lot. I think it's decent in the mirror match too. There's a lot of sort of low power guys that sort of continuously bounce off each other, and the armor can really swing a lot of those trades. Battletech may just do the same thing there, though. I don't know which is better. I had Basher instead of that this weekend. That's the only change I made. But I like it more as that underleveled play, and Basher wasn't really doing anything for me.
Okay, I'd like to get a prediction from you. How many senior blowout moments are you going to get in this match?
In the match? Well, it's only going to be 3 games, so let's say 5.
Like it. What'd you say?
I said 5.
All right. I'm going to guess it goes all 5 games, and I'm going to say 9. But so what are your predictions for this game? I don't know if you heard, S1al said he was going to beat you because you're terrible. Would you like a rebuttal to that statement?
I'm okay with that classification. I think it's going to be close. I think it's close.
Okay, but you're going to win in the end, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's 3-0 for me, but just 3 close games, I think.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you're going to crush him, but in close style.
Yeah, I'll be fair about it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck to both of you. I hope one of you wins. So let's go ahead and move on to the games. It would be interesting if neither of you won. Maybe Jake comes out of retirement and comes in and whoops you both.
It could happen.
I'm not sure Jake could beat a dog trained to play Soul Forge at this point. Is that true or not?
No comment.
Depends who was training it. If PTK was training it, you wouldn't have a shot.
Not even a chance.
Because you know that dog would bite you the second you started winning.
Yeah. Backup mechanisms to win.
He'd be like, "You sure you want to beat me? Are you sure? Have you seen these jaws? I don't think you want to beat
positive.
me." Let's see. So let's have S1al send the challenges as player 1, and let's get this party started. And for those of you who didn't notice, there is going to be a spoiler at the end of the Forge, so we're very excited. The card, I think, is pretty darn cool. What about you, Jake? What do you think about the spoiler card?
Well, you didn't show it to me.
That's
so
right,
I'm going
didn't.
To withhold my opinion.
That's right, I didn't.
Until I see it.
That's what happens when you're never around, chump.
No. I said last night, show me the spoiler, Grimes. You're like, maybe.
That might have happened.
That's an actual message I have.
That might have happened. Can't confirm or deny it, but that might have happened.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I like the surprised look on your face when you see the spoiler, though. That makes it more fun for me.
I know, you enjoy it.
All right.
Okay. I understand.
Okay, so here we go. We are on our way. Here's a question. Do you empty lane a Thundersaur in this particular matchup when you know your opponent has no removal just to level it?
I would say no.
I was kind of tempted.
Just gonna... yeah, you're the guy who empty lanes Thundersaurs and then gets them killed by Blightwalkers.
Well, no. I mean, in this particular matchup, I think it's much more tempting because it's the money card.
I'll agree that it's better here, but I would still say no. Just because your opponent's going to play on 4 lanes then, and it's going to sit there for the next 3 player levels, alone and sad.
Yeah. This is a tough choice. Do you strategist there, hoping he doesn't get a pump, or do you Echo Wisp to level it, knowing he has a Justicar? That's kind of a tough call there. Certainly worked out right.
I think I like the strategist better.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Yeah.
I think here I would gargoyle in. I don't know, gargoyle maybe 3-4. Or do you play Oros here? Oros doesn't seem to accomplish that much.
Keep him safe. I don't think Oros is that amazing in this.
I think in this matchup...
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you get to the end, then Oros can be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think in this matchup, Sentinel blowouts are going to win the game. Like, if EvilWeevil can get a bunch of Sentinel blowouts, I think he will win. And playing Gargoyles helps set those up for you. Let's see.
And having those 2 gargoyles down is going to allow him to, set those up really well.
Right. Let's see. All right, so he's got the Matrix Warden. That's a new change for him. So he went Matrix Warden into Oros. Thundersaur followed by maybe moving the Gargoyle over, and Strategist seems pretty good.
Yes, well, definitely going to move Gargoyle. There's no reason to have it die at the Matrix Warden.
Although you could go Gargoyle in 1, Gargoyle 3, Strategist 2.
Yeah.
Both of them.
That would work as well. Kills the Patriarch.
I think that's probably the better play. because the only way he kills your Thundersaur is if he Warmonger mods, and that would kill him anyway. I guess Battletech and Roar would do it, or Battletech and Strategist. So he's got a bunch of ways actually. But Roar seems reasonable. It keeps him alive anyway.
Yeah, I like the Roar.
Definitely,
yeah, definitely works out fine.
All right, so he's gonna Roar back. And now he's got a Thundersaur as well. So are we tied on Thundersaurs at this point? One apiece? I think so.
One apiece, I think, right? Yep.
Yep. And here we go. We get our first look at the Sentinel blowout. So he gets to go Gargoyle 2, Sentinel 4, Senior Blowout. I think that's the right play.
Oh.
It's a little dangerous because... I mean, if he's able to pump that Thundersaur with a Roar, it's going to be a pretty big Thundersaur. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, but I still think that's probably the way to do it. Alright.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely safer doing it this way.
Yeah, that's definitely the safer way. The problem is, what are you putting in front of Thundersaur then? Or are you discarding? Or I guess not discarding. I guess you can play in 5 after combat, so that's fine. So I suppose Sentinel 3, Battle, and then Thundersaur, Gargoyle 5. And he got all 3 Gargoyles down on player level 1. Oh my. I think EvilWeevil came out ahead. 3 Gargoyles and a Thundersaur against a Thundersaur.
All 3 Gargoyles. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's got the Echo-Wisp down here, but...
Yeah. I mean, that's something. I mean, this is the problem. By ignoring the Thundersaur before, he's in a sort of a tough spot, except for he can just go Warmonger mod on the Gargoyle and kill it. If he had a Sentinel with it, it would be like the dream turn. Man, a Sentinel here would have just been so amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you know, whenever the board is full, Sentinel's basically always the card you're looking for, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Alright. So, unfortunately, he didn't find the Sentinel. The moment would have been best. He's okay.
Alright, so Oracle comes down. That's a big Oracle, not gonna lie.
A 7/9 Oracle. That kills outright an Oros.
Yes. And
that's
lives.
something. And that's why Oracle is pretty reasonable. I mean, if you're playing Strategist and Tactician and Roar and Patriarch, Oracle doesn't have the downside it had before.
No, that's a lot of buffs. You're always going to have something. Before, it was a problem when you only had, you know, some people weren't even running Tacticians. So they had Roar and they had Patriarch. It just wasn't enough to reliably, you know, make the Oracle useful. But like this is pretty impressive.
I agree. He could go Roar here to take out the Oracle. I think I like what he's doing better, but it certainly would have been an option. And is he going to stick the Gargoyle in front of the Oracle just to eat it? I'm kind of guessing that he is.
Yeah, I think so.
Because if you stick it in front of Strategist, Strategist can move away and trade off the Patriarch anyway. He's going to get a free card. A Roar 3 is so fun to sneak into your deck.
Absolutely.
Alright, so after he pumps with... He's going to get the double pump with the Patriarch? Is that what he's going for?
I mean, he also could just play the Roar, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one gives him the most upside here. So if he double pumps with the Patriarch, he's still going to die to the Gargoyle. Everything kills the Gargoyle. There's no way to get around that with the Roar. So I'm wondering if if there's any point in playing the Roar. Because the Strategist lives from the Patriarch anyway.
Yeah, so maybe, you know, Patriarch 2, discard the Roar.
Yeah, I mean, getting
Warmonger he's going for the Roar, looks like.
Getting Warmonger mod to 2 also is really important, though. So there's a whole number of plays that seem useful and good here. Yeah, I think he's gonna hit the Warmonger mod.
Levels the mod? Yeah, because now it hits level 3s.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's a fine play. He wasn't able to handle the Gargoyle. Now he gets a blowout with the S1al, which is frustrating to no end.
For sure.
He won't be able to kill the Patriarch, so it makes me wonder if he's going to, or if he's just going to try to get the damage.
He can just take the Strategist if he wants.
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to take the Strategist.
Yeah.
The question is whether he does anything about the Patriarch.
I think it's probably just going to be on ignore for a turn because he doesn't really have anything large enough to handle it right now.
He could put the new Gargoyle in front of it. I mean, it would only take 7. It would still live. That's a possibility. I do kind of like Gargoyle in 3 though, so that you have room. He doesn't need the middle lane as much though, because he's just running that Nexus tech that he's not really using, so that's not quite as critical in the evaluation. Normally with AU,
he can fill it if he needs to.
Yeah, normally with AU you'd want that middle open for your battle tech, and that would be make you not want a S1al in the middle. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing battle tech in this deck that he's running that I have, is because of that very reason, that you have way more flexibility if you're not running battle tech.
Yeah, for sure.
But you do lose out on a lot.
Card, but you do have to, consider the downsides.
Yeah, battle tech is just flat amazing, and you lose out on it.
All right, so here comes Thundersaur for sure. There he is. Oro's coming down.
That's an interesting spot for Thundersaur. I would have put it in 1.
Yeah, to guarantee the hit, because as is, it's just the Gargoyle's just gonna move.
I don't understand that play, actually. I feel like I'm missing something.
And it's not like the Thundersaur in 3 is shutting down the lane effectively because there's no battle tech.
Right, it's shutting out his own battle tech, which he leveled. Yeah. That's the play I would make, and then go Thundersaur 3-4, because EvilWeevil, he doesn't care.
Yeah, no, his middle lane can do whatever.
Although Oros is kind of scary. He could just strategist to kill the Oros. So, okay, so it looks like he's gonna.
He just moves. Okay.
Yeah, just gonna put those. Yeah, that seems like a really reasonable.
Which is even better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, and he's got a Thundersaur 3. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Okay.
Going for the one-hit KO.
Bam. Remember that awesome Thundersaur he had? Do you remember that, Jake?
Yep. I do. It's dead.
He's dead. That guy is dead.
He's gone.
You can forget he existed. He's dead.
He's not here anymore.
Yeah, but that was a really good rejoinder for EvilWeevil. He was in some serious trouble. And then he was like, what? What, you never seen a 3111 Thundersaur before? Ooh, this is interesting, because he can buff that Oros even more if he wants. Have 33. Yeah,
he can push the breakthrough damage to
22 damage, 22 healing. It's tempting. I see what he's thinking. Maybe I instead move him over, play the Matrix Ward, and trade off the only real threat that EvilWeevil has in that Gargoyle. I don't know. This is kind of a tough spot.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, he's gaining 13 as is.
He's gonna go that route.
I think he probably has to, because gaining life while leaving your opponent with a powerful board doesn't actually accomplish you anything.
Yeah, I think this is gonna turn. I feel like this loses the game for him though, because that Thundersaur, I don't think he's gonna have an answer for it. I think that Thundersaur is gonna win.
Yeah, it definitely could be the case. He did draw the Patriarch 3 now, which is going to do amazing things for his board. I don't know if it's going to be enough here.
I think Strategist plus Mod, that's 26. I mean, that gets him really close to the win.
He does need to be careful, though. He's at 22 life.
Yep, so he'll take 8 from the Warden.
11, 17.
I think he's fine. I think the play is to block the Oracle with the Strategist and Mod, and I think that wins. Unless his opponent...
he's fine as long as his opponent doesn't have a Matrix Warden or a Roar, any Roar for that matter.
Any Roar does it?
Well, there's 3 creatures.
I mean, he only has 9 right now.
Patriarch, Buffing, Synapse, Circle, and
Thunderstorm. But the point
Thunderstorm.
is, EvilWeevil has to think the only way he could win is with a Patriarch 3 and another buff. Like that's a really unlikely scenario to happen. Let's see where we're at here. This is going to be close, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's got him, though, here.
I think he's got it. He can just block, and it'll be fine.
He takes him much deeper. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good one. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Nightbot. Get him online. So, if you would like...
Oh, yeah, we need Nightbot.
Yeah, if you would like to win a giveaway today, let me tell you how to do that in just a moment. Come on, Nightbot. Get your stuff together, man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So once he gets online, you're going to have to type into the chat so that Nightbot sees you as being an active person.
Yep.
And
not yet, though.
And it's a proven fact that attempting to seduce Nightbot with sweet, sweet words actually ups your odds of being picked.
What I was going to say is let's predict who you think is going to win the series, not the straight-out seduction of Nightbot. That's not quite as fun. All right, so who do you guys think is going to win? Put in your prediction. We'll do a roll-off after the next game. So you have some minutes to either seduce Nightbot or to make your prediction. All right, so go ahead and let's start the next game. Let's see if EvilWeevil can continue his, I don't want to say dominance, because that was basically who drew the bigger Thundersaurs. Is that what it seemed like it came down to you?
It was certainly a relevant fact. Oros did good work against the Thundersaur with a lot of buffs.
Yep.
But in the end, it was the giant Thundersaur that won the damage race.
Yeah, it feels like Gargoyle's good, but Thundersaur is key.
Definitely. He's just huge.
I mean, if they each draw...
There are no removal spells that kill Thundersaur in these decks. So when it comes down to it, you have to deal with that Thundersaur 1 point of damage at a time.
Yeah, pretty much the way to deal with Thundersaur is with your Thundersaur. Or Warmonger mod.
Or Warmonger mod, yeah.
So I think this is definitely the right choice. Play Thundersaur. Hey, you got a Thundersaur? Play the Thundersaur. And guess what? I think it's going to be the right choice here. Play the Thundersaur.
I've heard that is a good option.
And that works out pretty well. He now gets to kill Evil's Thundersaur, barring double pump, which is pretty unlikely.
What happens?
This is a tough hand. Not really sure what the right approach here is. I mean, S1al didn't play the board spread guy, so Juskar doesn't seem quite as strong.
He could do the double pump by playing the Nexus and Roar, and the Thundersaur would survive. With 1 armor plus 2 HP.
I think that's what I would do.
I think that's what I would do as well.
I think that does put a fair amount of pressure on him. The problem is the Thundersaur on the other side is going to be kind of annoying.
A little bit, but at the same time, that's actually a really strong Patriarch now.
Yeah, it really is. He's not going to die barring pump. And again,
it will be a trade. Even barring pump, it would have to be
a double
Matrix
pump.
Warden or a double pump. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and he's got to kill the Thundersaur.
Oh, he has to. He can't take 18.
Yeah, he just can't. I mean, he's already going to take it.
I mean, he's going to take the damage anyways, but what I mean is he can't leave it there to keep swinging for 18.
Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead. Whack me a while.
Yeah, I'll take a few right on the nose.
No problem. I like Thundersaur, of course. I think Thundersaur 2, maybe Strategist 1, or maybe Roaring. I think I like Strategist better. The reason I want to pump the Thundersaur is so he can actually kill that Oros and live, perhaps. Maybe we don't need to pump him. I like Strategist generally, though, in the matchup.
Yeah, I think Strategist is really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, Roar is also really, really good in a match where both sides are just building a board and then slamming them into each other. But yeah, I think Strategist is definitely a card you want leveled. And he does Jetpack over to go take it out and dodge the Thundersaur.
Alright. Jetpack and the Oros. He says,
That's a sneaky Oros.
I'm not gonna sit in front of that Thundersaur. What do I look crazy? Did he just get a 1 Scarab?
Did he only get 1 Scarab?
He did. He had no Utera cards in his hand. I'm wondering if he knew that was going to happen and it was a calculated maneuver, or if it was a surprise. But look at that.
I'm thinking he just wanted it leveled.
Senior Blowout. Is that number 2? I think this is number 2.
Match, yes, that's number 2 of the match.
Yep, I predicted 9. I'm going to write this down. Give me my sheet of paper.
Okay, Tiny Grimes predicted 9. Is not going to get there.
Well, not if it's a sweep. Definitely not. But I also predicted it would be a 5-game match, which is, I don't know. It's not looking that great right now, but this matchup could swing pretty hard. Oh,
absolutely.
Man.
You know, Oros is solidly in favor of S1al so far.
So Thundersaur 3, Patriarch 5 is brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
that is just... That is just brutal.
Pump, you know, like,
he really is the EvilWeevil. Oh, there we go.
There's the Warmonger on the Oros. Like I said, Oros has favored S1al.
Yep.
But Thundersaur appears to be solidly in EvilWeevil's court.
Yep, I think I like that. Strategist in 2. I think I would even Matrix Warden in 1 to make sure that Oros dies.
Right.
Just in case he gets a Roar or something. But I could see Warmonger mod too on the Thundersaur and just being like, listen, how you going to deal with this Thundersaur? You don't have removal. You're dead, sir. So, they're both reasonable choices. I think the Warmonger mod is slightly riskier, but has a way higher upside.
That Thundersaur is just giant.
Yep, and as we see,
I have no idea what S1al is going to do about it. Yeah, I mean, you have to do that, but that's a game-losing play when it comes down to it. Yeah. I mean, yes, he killed it, but he also lost the game.
I think here I would Oros in 1, Roar, and then say, okay, deal with all of these threats.
Yeah, especially the Oros, because you just want the breakthrough down.
Exactly.
And
it's going to be 9.
You only need to do a little bit of damage at this point. So.
He's at 3, yeah. That's
that's game.
That is game. So that's 2 games to 0 for the most EvilWeevil I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, S1A1 did say EvilWeevil beat him at the tournament on Saturday.
Yep. All right, let's do a giveaway here, so I'm going to run it now.
Right, all right.
Let's see who the winner is. The winner is S1al. I can only assume he's French, and that's how you would pronounce it. So, S1al. I will send your code to you in a little while after the forge is over. And if you do want to win a giveaway, you do need to be a follower of the stream. I realized I didn't say that before, so it's a good thing. S1al was a follower of the stream. So go ahead and follow. We'll do another giveaway after this game. Hopefully, S1A1 can get something good happening here and can pull out a win. Because I think he's at a disadvantage unless he can find all those Thundersaurs.
Yeah, Thundersaur has really just dominated this, which, I mean, you know, is not a difficult prediction to make in an AU mirror.
Yes, that's for sure.
But is completely and utterly fact. And that's why we had Botanimate back in the day when AU was so prominent.
Yeah, I think Botanimate is going to have to come back in the mix if people are playing AU. Because Thundersaur, this is going to sound crazy, Thundersaur was fairly unplayed. It was a really weird environment for a couple weeks there.
Well, he had a really rough time when opposing decks often had like 9 Blightwalkers in them.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's just not a happy Thundersaur board, you know?
See, I think here I would have moved over the Gargoyle into lane 4, played the Thundersaur in 3, and buffed that Thundersaur. I love having Thundersaur in 3 if you're EvilWeevil, because you kind of care about the middle, whereas your opponent has to have the middle.
Yeah, your opponent has to keep those Tacticians in the middle, and Tactician does not combat well against Thundersaur.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay. So we had some technical difficulties there for a moment, but they have been resolved. So it looks like Thundersaur in 3 again is promising, except for the fact that you probably want to get your Gargoyle the heck out of 3. Yeah, I think I would move my Gargoyle out of 4 into 3.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe put my Thundersaur in 4.
Right.
And then I don't know, you have some choices here. You could Warmonger mod your Thundersaur to put a lot of pressure down. You could just Gargoyle in 2 to get another Gargoyle leveled. I think I like that better.
I like that better. I don't want to use Warmonger mod this early just for damage.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, I realize you'd attack for 28 flat, but I don't think it's worth it.
I agree. I mean, you'd get more than that because then they would have to block him.
Well, and you'd have Breakthrough, I know.
Right.
So
you'd end up with like 40
damage.
damage. But you'd lose board control. So I agree. I think it would be a substandard play. Alright. S1al is already falling kind of far behind. But he got his Thundersaur too. So let's see what EvilWeevil can do.
That's that's a big way to get ahead in the game.
That's for sure. I think I like I like Patriarch in 3 in theory, but he's got to deal with that Oros in 1, which he could deal with the new Gargoyle.
Right.
He could go like Gargoyle, Matrix Warden in 3, buffing the Gargoyle. That might be a better play.
Yeah, he has some options.
Yeah, he actually has a whole slew of options here.
Yeah, he has like several different lines that could work really well.
He could actually go Nexus Tactician in the middle.
That's what I was just thinking. Was maybe Nexus Tactician in the middle works the best here.
I don't know though. I kind of get the feeling that crushes his Thundersaur because his Thundersaur won't be growing, whereas the other guys will
his opponents will. Yeah. Okay. So maybe. Yeah. Okay.
That makes it kind of tough. Oros in the middle is also really strong.
To grow your Thundersaur though.
What's up?
You could also just Patriarch to grow your Thundersaur.
Yep, Patriarch in the middle is a good play. The problem there is Oros kills the Gargoyle, or whatever you end up putting in 1 without trading for it. Unless you go Patriarch 1, Warden the Patriarch.
Warden in the middle, Warden the Patriarch. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. He doesn't move the Gargoyle over, though.
That's fine as well, I guess. And that way he can't buff the Oros.
Yeah, I mean, it takes the decision out of S1A1's hands and just takes it off the board right now.
Yep.
He has faced down several Warmonger modded Oros.
That's a good point.
In his match so far that have done some pretty good work.
He seems to be learning better than we are. We're like, what?
Yeah.
What? Would he play a Warmonger mod or something? Oh, yeah, he has like 17 times.
Yeah.
I think S1A1 is going to win this one. I don't think he handles that Thundersaur 2.
Yeah, that Thundersaur 2 is set up to do really good work, and there's no Thundersaurs in sight for Weevil.
Yeah, he really needs to draw one on this turn, or I think he's toasted. Or some other cool trick to handle him. Wow, and he did not. He did not. That was not a great hand for EvilWeevil. So let's see. How can we rescue this awful hand in the best way possible? So I guess question 1 is, do you even engage with Thundersaur at all? Or do you just not let him grow, take the 20, and move on?
You take the 20 and pray for a good hand next turn.
Yeah,
definitely. Because if you just chump that Thundersaur, you gain absolutely nothing.
And he grows.
You still take the same amount of damage because it attacks for the bonus that it missed on your turn on its own turn.
Yep.
So the damage is actually the same, even with blocking. So no, you ignore it completely and just build your board, and then hope you have a strong hand next turn.
And the question is, how do you build your board? I mean, that Patriarch eats whatever you put in front of it, even with the Nexus Tactician.
I'd ignore them both, as he's chosen to done here.
Yeah,
to do.
That's just such a losing play. I mean, it's not a bad play, but it's a really problematic play, especially.
Well, it's a weak play, but I wouldn't say it's a losing play because it actually gives him the best shot at winning this game.
Yeah, I think I would have double Thunder Sword there, but I see what he's doing. Putting some pressure on him is not bad. That's an interesting way to do it. Overwrite it so you immediately get some value out of it.
He wants the second big Thunder Sword on the board,
yep.
and
that worked out really well.
I pretty much agree.
Yep, I do too. I think now, I think I said before it was over. I'm gonna say it's double over, if that's a word.
Weevil still can't kill the first Thunder Sword. Okay, so never mind.
He just concedes and says,
"Yeah,
come on, man. What am I supposed to do about that?" All right, so S1 got a win. We're happy to see that.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping he gets at least one more, if not two more.
Yeah, he did say he was going to win the series. So
He did, and we can't have him be wrong. All right, let's do another giveaway.
Yep, Nightbot, engage.
So go ahead and seduce Nightbot again in case people have forgotten. You do need to be a follower of the stream. After this next game, we will roll it away. So go ahead and get to know Nightbot a little better. Hey Nightbot, how you doing? The name's Tiny Grams. Alright, so it's interesting to see S1 consistently leading off with Tacticians. Tactician's an interesting card to lead off with, especially if you see two Patriarchs in your hand. I kind of like Strategist because he can move around and he's flexible, so that's an interesting decision. What do you think about just generally leading off with Tacticians?
I think in the end it's okay. It's not attacking yet. It's not in danger. You open yourself up to drawing a Patriarch for the next turn and sort of delaying playing the best opening you can.
Yeah.
The traditional Tactician plus Patriarch turn 1 on the draw. You can pull that off by gambling on a Patriarch for the next turn.
The problem is he saw two in that hand. That makes me a little bit more hesitant to try to pull that off.
Yeah, it definitely impacts it, and I would personally be inclined to play a Patriarch in such an opening hand.
That was interesting. He's going to take a lot of damage already with that Oros.
But it's, he's at 100.
Yeah, he would have needed a double roar, and he didn't get it. But that's going to be big time, getting to play Thundersoar. Ooh, that's very interesting. I would have played Thundersoar in 3, and then put the Strategist in 4, had a giant Thundersoar right away. Or not a giant Thundersoar, but...
I think he likes this one because now both those guys live.
Yeah, I understand that side. I think, though, I would have rather...
plus side.
I would have rather had the bigger Thundersoar right out of the gate.
I mean, okay, I agree somewhat, but I also disagree when your Thundersoar is only 12 HP because it's still too easy to knock out with level 1 cards at that point.
Yep. But this is true.
If it was a level 2 Thundersoar, then absolutely. All you need to do is grow that guy. Right. And then your opponent has to put 2 cards into it, and they have to be good cards, to actually handle it.
This is kind of interesting. He can do like a Patriarch into a Matrix Warden maybe, and make a really big Thundersoar here. You could have a 7/14 Thundersoar.
That's a decent size.
So he decides, I think, to go the route of taking out the Oracle, because the Oracle is going to make his life a complete nightmare going forward. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
And plus, it's a pretty big gargoyle that's going to be hard to handle. Oh boy, here comes a big Thundersoar right back at him. I guess not too big, but that's a lot of threats. An 8/8 Thundersoar,
they still trade.
A 6/3 Oros. I mean, it's a good thing he's got a Sentinel Blowout in his hand. I got it ready. I got the pen ready. Look, here's the pen, the official Sentinel Blowout pen. Number 3 is about to be chalked up.
All right, you're only 6 short.
Yep, that's all right. EvilWeevil's gonna
got some time left.
It's because this game has been a Thundersoar battle. They've actually been seeing them all.
If they should have made Thundersoar a robot.
Yes. Oh, I
totally
agree.
Robot dinosaur. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. The robot, and he should re-pop when he dies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he doesn't really die.
Right, he's a robot.
He's fixed. Yeah.
He gets reanimated. I like it. We should be designers of a game. It would do very well.
It'd be very popular.
Every card is broken. What are you guys doing? Shut up. We're having fun. All right. I think you have to put.
Year-olds.
What's that?
Our game would be very popular with the 3 to 7 crowd. Robot dinosaurs. Those are a seller.
You know what? Shh. Stop talking about our next $1 million idea, Jake.
Right. My bad.
All right.
So technician for sure here, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then you know what? Scarab set up pretty well here, because with a tactician.
The problem with the Scarab is, he only gets 1.
Oh, yes, that is unfortunate. That's actually a change he made by taking out 2 Bashers and a Reveler. He actually took out 3 Utera cards.
You're right.
Let me look at how many Utera he even has in this deck now. There might not be that many.
It feels pretty low because that's the second time in 3 games. 4 games, sorry.
So it looks like he has
second time
10.
in 4 games.
That's not that many.
That's not that many.
And he also took out an Echo Wisp.
Right.
So that's wow. That's a.
So he went from 14 Utera to 10 Utera.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, at that point I would start to reconsider the experienced Scarabs.
Yeah, I think I'd probably prioritize Echo Wisp over Scarab at that point.
Yeah. I mean, second time in 4 games is a 50% rate on games where he's finding one that isn't doubling.
Okay, seems wow.
Wow. Okay, so Thunderspore goes in 2 to die.
Yeah.
And that is now a game-winning Thunderstorm, I think, right?
Yeah, I think the game's over again because of Thunderstorm. Come on, get a Sentinel blowout in. Stop making me look so stupid. You can go Sentinel 3, Strategist 4, and at least get a blowout on your way to victory. Make me look smart. And actually, that might be a good play because the only way of catching that Thundersaur is by some sort of buffing.
Yep.
And
so taking Tactician off the board definitely makes that less likely.
It doesn't just make me look smart. It might actually be the right play.
It leaves the Thundersaur only vulnerable to a Warmonger mod, is what it does.
The problem is it also leaves him giving up 14 health every turn at Oros.
Tactician's gone.
Right. But the Oros still is getting quite a bit of health back. But yeah, he's done.
No, he's dead on the attack. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, EvilWeevil. Let's go ahead and do a quick giveaway, and then we'll bring EvilWeevil in. So Nightbot, choose wisely. Nightbot has chosen wisely and has chosen Lothario. That's not his name, but that's what I'm calling him. All right, Lothario, you will get your code soon. We have Sacrement and Lothario. All right, well, let's bring in our champion who loves Selena Gomez. You can just see Jake in a club, dancing to this all night long till the wee hours of the morning when his wife calls and says, "Where are you?" And he says, "I'm working late, honey." But he's actually dancing to hit the lights. All right, EvilWeevil, welcome back and congratulations.
Thank you.
So you said you were going to sweep him. I'm a little disappointed. It took you 4. What happened?
I didn't follow through. I know, I'm sorry.
What happened, man? Explain yourself. All right, so that game, that match really seemed like Thundersaur is good. Do you have a different summary of that matchup?
No, that was pretty much how it went. I thought he was playing Oros more than I do in that matchup. I think it was good. Like, he Warmonger modded it and killed my Thundersaur in that one game. You get a huge life swing, but it's all about the board. Like, I don't really care about that life swing. If I just get a huge Thundersaur, I'm going to be able to take that back in 2 turns, like with a 30-powered Thundersaur. I mean, it may just be his hands. His deck also, like, he doesn't have Gargoyles, so he has to prioritize it more as that big creature. But yeah, I think it's just about those huge Thundersaurs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That I think that's why he's playing Oros. You get to play Gargoyles alongside your Thundersaur, and he doesn't have another really terrifying threat, and so I think it is Oros.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you only got 3 Sentinel blowouts? Man, you made me look kind of foolish there. I'm a little bit angry with you. Can you explain yourself?
I went for that one on the last turn just for the blowout, though. I'm not sure that was the right play, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was either.
Well, so, I mean, the risk was leaving Oros up because then he's gaining life back, and I'm just trying to race with that Thundersaur, but I don't think it really mattered.
Yep. Yeah, that match really seemed like it was Thundersaur. The Gargoyle was cool and helpful, but that was Thundersaur.
Yeah, the Gargoyle's less good than it was against in the old Robots Mirror match, I think, because of Echo Wisp and Scarab. Like, you can't always move it out of the way.
Yeah. Something that I find really interesting is this emergence of Echo Wisp and Scarab. One of the reasons I stopped playing Echo Wisp was Thundersaurs, because it was too dangerous. You would have an Echo Wisp down at an 8-3, and they would just go Thundersaur 2, thank you very much for the buff.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, the Echo Wisp 1, too, if you, like, empty lane it, you can go Thundersaur and then Patriarch, and you literally, like, you eat both Echo Wisps for free. Yep,
exactly. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, and I wish you continued good luck in Forge Watch Invitationals in the future, and I look forward to bringing you back for Champions Week, or Champions Series, or whatever we're calling it, when we bring back all the former champions to square off and crush each other's soul until only one remains, and then we roll dice to see who's better, you or Tiny Grimes.
Thank you for having me. Can I plug something really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So it's actually not up this second, but there should be a Gox's Socks website coming up soon. We have some content, things like that. There's like a calendar of upcoming SoulForge events. There's a link to seeing what streamers are online. There's a bunch of links to like log parsers, things like that, all on the website. There will be articles. There's even buzz about a potential podcast. So that should be up by the end of the week.
Awesome.
It should be really good. It's a lot of great players. You'll see stuff from me, Hector's, Turkus.
And for those of you who are not in the know, why don't you tell us what is Gox's Socks? Is that you wear a type of socks made by Gox, or what's going on?
Yeah, so that's partially why we want the website, because it's a little unclear. But yeah, so it's basically just a team of SoulForge players. We were trying to, I guess, there was pretty much only one team out there. There was the Metamar team. And it's a huge advantage to be able to test with a bunch of people and things like that. So it's a team of SoulForge players that are, trying to be competitive and do their best in the tournaments, basically. We've had good success. I mean, I've been doing well in the qualifiers. We had CMU Stewart went undefeated in the Metamart Invitational Swiss. A lot of stuff like that. Yeah, and hopefully we'll be putting out articles and things like that, too.
Yeah, I gotta say, I remember when you guys were forming that team, and I was looking at the names, and I was like, huh, I've never heard of any of these people. And then within a month, I was like, oh yeah, now I've heard of all of them, because you guys just all started dominating the tournaments together. So
yeah, it's been really helpful. I mean, like this, I didn't test this week before the qualifier, and I got Hector's to help me with the list and whatever, and ended up going 5-2. I missed on tie breaks, but that's the advantage. It's just so much better when you have a bunch of people testing together.
Yeah, definitely. You get a bunch of people that are quality players working together, and I've gotten to know a lot of you guys and play with you and test with you, and I've gotten to see that you guys are really good. It's just one of those things of I don't know if you guys came into the game a little bit later and sort of missed like the first run of tournaments, or if working together has just really brought all of your games up. But whatever the case is, you guys are all forces to be reckoned with, and that's for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I came in late, and then I was sort of playing only draft, building my collection. I basically started playing constructed just by playing, Turkus and all those guys, and that's a pretty good way to start. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much for